All right, I see some people coming in already. So if you want to put in the chat where you're viewing from, I always love to see where everyone is tuning into. And we'll get started 1 minute. We'll just wait 1 minute. New Hampshire, that's where I am. Marge, where are you in New Hampshire? Portsmouth. I'm in the Lakes region. So funny. That's awesome. Benjamin, do you sell acai bowls? Is that what that is? Oh, I'm really addicted to acai bowls. Oh, and poke bowls. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay. So what time do we have? This is getting recorded anyway, so we can start and then people can view it after. Let me just get started. Let's see. All right, so Brent is on here too. Brent, if you could just watch the chat for me. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to be here and we're absolutely thrilled to have you with us. Now, I always say this is not the most thrilling topic. It's not, but it's absolutely essential for your business. You want to know if you're making a profit, right? You want to understand how your restaurant, your bakery, your bar, or whatever business you run is really doing. I totally get it. You might not be eager to dive into every single transaction, but you definitely want a clear picture of how your business is performing overall. Does it make sense to continue the breakfast service? You've been thinking that in the mornings, it's been so quiet, so you're saying to yourself, am I losing money by being open at this time? You want to know if you're making a profit, right? You may ask yourself, is my Friday night special really as profitable as I think? Or am I just breaking even after all the extra prep and staffing costs? Here's a few more questions, and then I'm going to look at chat to see if you ask yourself these questions as well. Are my food costs eating into my profits? Is it time to adjust the pricing or certain menu items and get them off of your menu? Is my business growing? Am I just keeping up with the expenses month after month instead of am I growing? Have you asked yourself those questions before and can you relate to them? One more, actually. Should I invest in a second truck? Say you have a taco truck, or will that stretch my budget too thin right now? How much should I be saving for repair and maintenance? Or do I have enough set aside? Okay, I could go on and on with questions, but you hopefully get the idea that that's why you want accurate financial reports, so it can help you answer your questions that you may be asking. Do you ask yourself anything? If you want to put it in the chat, if you don't want to put in the chat, totally fine, but I would love to know if you are asking yourself those questions as well. Where's the chat? I can't even see the chat. Brent, can you see the chat?
I can only see the everyone's side, just so you know.
Let me see if I can get the chat back. Oh, I wonder why I can't see the chat. Oh, here it is. Okay. No, Benjamin, you don't? Well, I hope that when you get to listen to the whole webinar, you'll understand, why a restaurant-specific bookkeeper can help you answer the questions for your business. And Marge, you have asked you those questions. Awesome. Okay. So in today's webinar, we're going to be talking about why you should hire a restaurant-specific bookkeeper over a generalist. And I'm here to show you how specialized expertise can make a difference. I promise we're not going to take up too much of your time. So feel free to continue to add questions or put comments into the chat as we go. Okay. Now, wherever you are in your restaurant's financial journey, my team and I are here to fully support you. I am Chris Adams, and this is my family. I live in New Hampshire, and after 12 years of owning and operating a successful catering and pizza place, I eventually sold both businesses separately and now run a virtual bookkeeping agency for the last 7 years. We're dedicated to helping restaurant owners like you manage your finances more effectively. We specialize in providing bookkeeping services to the food and beverage industry. Throughout my career, what I loved most about knowing my numbers was knowing my numbers, I should say, but I know most people don't say that. But for me, it was true. Understanding the financial aspects of my businesses was key to success. And today I'm excited to share why that is. Now, I wasn't always like that for the first few years. I didn't even know what my numbers were. I really didn't know if I was making a profit, what my payroll percentages were, and more importantly, what they should be. So I eventually saw the impact an updated QuickBooks file did for my businesses, and having accurate reports, having truly accurate and updated profit and loss and a balance sheet, what it did for me. And I want to do that for you as well. I realized what a tool, a software like QuickBooks Online can be if you're actually using it in the right way. One reason I didn't know if I was making a profit or not was because I didn't know how to pull reports in QuickBooks. Once I figured it out, it was like a gut punch. I was like, is that really what I've been making? When you don't pull reports and you only look at the money coming into your bank account, then you think you're doing okay. And maybe that's what you've been doing. And again, I have been in your shoes. So that's the really cool part, is I have been on both sides of this. But that's where I want to start today. I want to explain why hiring a restaurant-specific bookkeeper is so much more beneficial than hiring a generalist bookkeeper. Generalist bookkeepers may offer broad services, but we provide solutions that are tailored to the nuances of your restaurant. Before we dive into the specifics of hiring a restaurant-specific bookkeeper, let's talk about why mastering your restaurant's finances is so important. Mastering the financial landscape in your restaurant is the fastest way to truly understand the numbers so you know what is happening in your restaurant. Effective financial management helps you improve profitability. So by understanding your financials, you can make informed decisions to boost your bottom line, enhance cash flow. So good financial practices ensures you have the cash you need when you need it. That's one of the biggest headaches for restaurant owners is cash flow. Ensure compliance. So staying on top of tax laws and regulations avoids costly penalties. And plan for growth. So solid financials provide the foundation for expansion and investment opportunities. My goal for you today is to empower you with the knowledge and insights you need to take control of your restaurant's financial health. By the end of this webinar, I want you to understand the importance of specialized bookkeeping. Recognize the value that a restaurant-specific bookkeeper brings to your business compared to a generalist. I want you to be able to identify key financial opportunities. So learn how mastering your restaurant's finances can lead to increased profitability, better cash flow, and compliance. And I want you to feel confident in your financial decisions, right? Gain the confidence to make informed financial decisions that drive growth and success in your restaurant. I want to ensure you leave this webinar with a clear understanding of how tailored financial expertise can make a significant difference in your business. First and foremost, hiring a bookkeeper in the early stages is so key. It's crucial to be set up correctly right from the beginning. You need to make sure your chart of accounts is customized and tailored to your specific business. Never should you be winging it. I mean, when it comes to setting up and doing your own bookkeeping, always know what you're doing. Many people think bookkeeping isn't important until they start making money, but this mindset can hold them back. It's crucial to show why tracking cash flow from the beginning is essential for growth. Another reason is you want to make sure you stay in compliance. Are you paying the right amount of sales tax each month? You can pay the number that is showing in your POS system for the sales tax, but are you making sure you're paying the correct sales tax if you're using, say, a third-party delivery service as well? In the state of New Hampshire, where I'm from, you also get a 3% commission if paying on time in the full balance. So are you making sure you're making use of all the credits that your state offers? Those are the reasons to use a knowledgeable bookkeeper, but we are going to get into a lot more reasons as well. So let's explore why hiring a restaurant-specific bookkeeper is beneficial than a generalist. A specialized bookkeeper brings industry-specific knowledge and experience that can significantly impact your business. First, let's talk about industry knowledge. Restaurant-specific bookkeepers are adept at understanding seasonal trends. So We know how to anticipate cash flow fluctuations and help you plan for peak and off-peak seasons. Cash flow, as I mentioned before, is one of the biggest headaches for restaurant owners. I know I don't need to tell you that, but we can help you. You know, a generalist bookkeeper may be working with you and possibly other clients. So they don't pick up on the specific trends. For instance, they may be working with a hairdresser, a plumber, a retail store. They aren't thinking specifically about your food business and what the seasonal trends are. Familiar with restaurant-specific metrics. So we understand and track key performance indicators, KPIs, like food cost percentages, prime costs, and table turnover rates, those kinds of things, which can be crucial for assessing your restaurant's health. So tracking those KPIs are so important, and a generalist may not even know which ones are important for your food business. Now let's discuss tax expertise. So restaurant-specific bookkeepers excel in sales tax compliance. I mentioned it a minute ago, but we have a deep understanding of sales tax requirements specific to restaurants, including tips and service charges, ensuring you remain compliant, which is so crucial. Deduction optimization. We know which industry-specific expenses are deductible, such as employee meals and, say, uniforms. Those can significantly impact tax savings. As a restaurant-specific bookkeeper, we have in-depth knowledge of tax deductions unique to the food and beverage industry. Understanding and leveraging these deductions can significantly impact your restaurant's tax savings. So let me explain a few key areas where deduction optimization makes a difference. So let's take employee meals. Many restaurant owners overlook that cost of meals provided to employees during their shift can be deducted. This deduction not only reduces taxable income, but also acknowledges the operational necessity of feeding your staff who work long hours. Uniform and work attire. So expenses for the uniforms and for the required, anything you have to ask your employees must wear, those can be deducted, as well as the cleaning and maintenance of the uniforms. Food and beverage costs. So while most of the inventory will be sold to customers, there happens to be spoilage and waste at times, and those can be accounted for in your deductions. So a restaurant-specific bookkeeper will know the nuances of how to properly account for those documents and be able to work with and provide the deduction. So operational expenses. We ensure that all deductible operational expenses like kitchen supplies, maintenance, and repairs are accurately recorded, maximizing your potential deductions. By identifying and recording these deductions, we ensure your restaurant minimizes its tax liabilities, keeping more money in the business where it can be used maybe for growth or expansion and development. A restaurant-specific bookkeeper can help you navigate these opportunities, ensuring you take the full advantage of every available deduction. So let me check in. What questions do you have right now? Would anyone like to put in the chat their pain points with either doing their own bookkeeping or using a generalist? Who does anybody here do their own bookkeeping? Using a generalist. Okay, Benjamin. I've never deducted my employees' meals. Can I start now? So I would talk to your accountant when the next time for next time you file taxes, but start recording those. Start recording those. Two main reasons why you should use a restaurant-specific bookkeeper, because we can help you with that as well. So awesome. Okay, when it comes to cost control, restaurant-specific bookkeepers provide menu insight. We can help analyze dish profitability. We can offer valuable insights into menu pricing and cost controls to optimize profits. Inventory management, we understand the complexity of inventory management in restaurants, definitely, helping you reduce waste and prevent theft. In terms of payroll, a restaurant-specific bookkeeper can help you with tip reporting and allocation. So we are skilled in managing tip income and ensuring compliance with the tip credit rules. I could challenge you and say that a general bookkeeper wouldn't know about the tip credit rules. Understanding labor costs. So we efficiently manage labor costs, including overtime and split shifts, which are prevalent in the restaurant industry. We break it out between departments. That is a big one. So one of the biggest headaches for restaurant owners is payroll costs. So since restaurants have such a low profit margin, we need to be so specific with the recording of the payroll to make sure you, the owner, understands what percentage your payroll is compared to what you're bringing in. We hate to see how much is spent in payroll. And a lot of times the owners have no idea if it's completely out of whack with the industry standards. They're just creating an employee schedule, making sure all shifts are covered. But that when they start to analyze the payroll numbers, they can start to see that they're either scheduling too much, spending too much money on the payroll, either weekly or biweekly. And finally, the most important reason to hire a restaurant-specific bookkeeper involves the recording of sales, because we see it over and over when we're taking on a new client that the previous bookkeeper did not record the sales correctly. Most generalist bookkeepers will just take the amount that is deposited into the checking account and just record it as sales. It will go on your profit and loss statement as sales, but that's so not accurate. I would love for you to look at your own QuickBooks file, see how you're currently recording the sales. This is the biggest one that we can teach you. We create a daily sales journal entry that breaks out the credit cards, the third-party deliveries, the sales tax, the tips, the refunds, the gift cards, cash, and there's a few more that we include on that journal entry. So if someone is recording as one lump sum, then you're overpaying on taxes, you're overstating your income, and it's making you not have accurate reports. Generalist bookkeepers might not have the specialized knowledge needed for the restaurant industry, leading to common mistakes, such as misclassification of expenses. So incorrectly categorizing expenses can lead to inaccurate financial statements. For example, so mixing up the direct costs, so food and beverage with the overhead, like the utilities and rent. One is COGS, one is more of the expense. Failure to track KPIs. So ignoring critical restaurant-specific KPIs like cost of goods sold or labor cost percentage can hurt profitability analysis. Inefficient inventory management. So incorrect inventory valuation methods can distort profit margins. Inadequate tax handling, mismanagement of sales tax and tip reporting can risk non-compliance and give you some penalties that you have to pay. Improper revenue recognition. So what we just talked about in the last slide, not understanding nuances like the accounting for gift cards can cause revenue timing errors. And lack of regulatory compliance. So staying up to date on health and safety regulations is crucial, and a generalist may overlook these. The biggest takeaway that I wanted to present today is choosing a bookkeeping partner who truly understands your industry can really make all the difference in the world. So as a former restaurant owner myself, I have been in your shoes, so I understand the headaches that bookkeeping can do when you're not sure what to do. You want accurate reports, but you don't know how to get them if you're trying to do them yourself or if you hire someone that isn't familiar with the food and beverage industry. We would love the opportunity to discuss how we can support your restaurant's growth and profitability. But before we wrap things up, I'm excited to introduce Brent Kowalski, our new CFO here at the Food Bookkeeper, who is also the CFO for a few of our clients. And I wanted to bring him on to talk about the CFO services we offer, just so you're familiar with what we offer, additional to the bookkeeping monthly service. Again, this is an additional service, but Brent brings a wealth of experience and he's here to help you take your financial management even to another level. So Brent, I'm going to let you take it away for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I won't take up a lot of time. I know Chris goes through a lot of the details of bookkeeping and everything. The last slide was really self-explanatory. I spent 15 years as a business owner. I spent another 5 with some private equity people that I had met through business owning, and started doing CFO and COO work with them and through their private equity firms. And I am now here helping Chris reach more business owners so that we can provide a great service to help people grow their business or make exits or whatever their long-term goals are. You can go to the next slide if you want, Chris, real quick. I only have two, so it's very easy. My biggest difference, what is, a lot of people don't necessarily know what a CFO does that a bookkeeper doesn't, or does and doesn't do. I basically take a lot of the client information that we provide inside the books. First of all, I'm the client-facing person, so I help the clients make sure their books are right with our bookkeeping team. So if we have questions, I help them do that. Once we have the data all categorized correctly, we are able to help owners figure out, hey, where are we going? Is that an exit in 24 months? Is that expanding in 12 months? Are we trying to open another location? Are we just trying to maximize our profits? What does our labor costs look like? How do we, improve any of those things? And then we do some vendor negotiations where we can help, once we're at a certain rate, get vendors to decrease their fees, et cetera. We do have experience in franchises. We're helping one right now, specifically where they are opening multiple franchise locations. So they have ownership in a specific state. And so they are in the process right now of opening another location. I have a meeting with them on Thursday about about the next location that they're opening. So we do have experience in franchises as well. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought as I was thinking through that. But basically, again, looking at the longer term goal for those specific businesses, we have some others that are food trucks that are doing multiple locations for food trucks. We have some restaurants that are single location acquiring another restaurant, either in the same town or a different town, and putting that under an umbrella. So a lot of different things, but the ultimate goal is for the CFO role is how do we help people achieve their long-term goal? And for everybody, that's a little different. And so we use the numbers to make that actual reality and make it purposeful, because that's how, essentially you get things done in business. So overall, that's the general, 30,000-foot view of it. A lot more details in there. We do some stuff with business credit to get owners off of, their personal guarantees and things like that. So the business has its own credit line and is attached to the EIN number and all of those things. So we do help owners with that as well. I used to have a business that did that. So we're at least entrenched in that knowledge and are able to help people navigate that. So you're not, always on your own credit responsible for everything. So if anybody has any questions, you can throw it in there. I know Chris will ask that as well, but I'll pass it back to her and let her finish it up.
And Benjamin, I wanted to tell you while he was talking, yes, we have a few clients that are in franchises, but also we are two of those. We are the preferred vendor for those franchises, so we're very familiar with that type of business. All right, so now that I've covered why it's so important to hire a restaurant-specific bookkeeper, and we have Brent come in to just briefly talk about the CFO services, I wanted to find out, what do you need from us? I would love to have a conversation with you or someone in our sales department to contact you if you don't feel like doing it right now in the chat, so we can just understand your pain points and see if we could be a fit for you. While we do offer a DIY bookkeeping system, it's designed for very, very, very small restaurants or individuals who just want a better understanding of their financials when they log into their QuickBooks file. It's not meant to be managing your own bookkeeping long term. For comprehensive and accurate bookkeeping, though, especially in this complex food and beverage industry, it's essential to work with experts. That's where our agency comes in. So again, we specialize exclusively in serving clients like you and ensuring your books are always in perfect order. So the next step, if you're interested, is to set up a meeting using our Calendly link, thefoodbookkeeper.com/booknow. If you needed a CPA to go along with your bookkeeping, we partner with one, so that could be less of a headache for you come tax time. And again, we're now offering the CFO services. So that just adds another element that we could provide service for you. So thank you so much for joining us today. We're now opening the floor to any questions. So feel free to ask anything. Let me just check the chat. Awesome, Benjamin. I probably will have Owen reach out to you and see if we can set up a good time to talk, let me just jot down your number. And Marge, what were you saying? Is this a subscription service? Well, so it's a monthly service. So it's not something that you are set into, but it is, a monthly ongoing service that we provide for the bookkeeping. Can I send this webinar to my partners as well? Yeah, you want me to email you the recording? I certainly will. I have your email from the sign up, and I will definitely send it out again. So for the recording. So yes, Brent was talking about, we didn't even talk about this. So we do provide reports by the 15th of every month. And that is a hard deadline that we strive for. I know a lot of people, when we talk to a prospect, they're like, I haven't seen a report in so many months, but by the 5th of every month, you are going to get an email from us if there's any unknown transactions that we're just not sure about, that is just maybe a little bit different than the previous months. Or if it's a new vendor and we can't really figure out what type of, how to categorize that new vendor. So you will get that email by the 5th of every month. And then by the 15th, you will get a profit and loss, you will get a balance sheet, and you will get a statement of cash flows. And we use a system called Digits, where it's a really cool program that's how we send out our reports. And so with that, it's, you'll look at your profit and loss, you'll take your mouse and hover over any of the numbers that you see on any of the reports, and it will give you the last 12 months of how you were trending, up or down. It will give you a little bit of an analysis for the month end. And always with each reporting, we provide a Zoom link. And so you can always create a meeting at time and go over your reports with Brent, actually, right here, that's on the webinar. He's the one that kind of goes over the reports with our clients. You'll also have a dedicated bookkeeper. We don't use all different bookkeepers for every client. One client gets a dedicated bookkeeper. And then we actually have a CPA that oversees that bookkeeper. She just doesn't want to have to do taxes, but she has that extra knowledge for looking over before we send out the reports that everything looks fine and dandy. So any other questions?
I just wanted to make sure, again, I think you said it, Chris. So usually when we bring people on, not usually, we have been, when they bring people on, I'm the one who ends up making sure they are onboarded and everything. So a lot of clients end up spending a lot of time with me via email, text, Zoom, in the initial stage, unless they have everything is set up, organized, I should say. Some people, it's quick, their onboarding's a couple days. Some people are longer, depending on how quick they are to give access to DoorDash if they have DoorDash, or Uber Eats. It's a lot of the third-party stuff, so we can make sure the income is correct, or the revenue is correct. And then just any expenses that we can make sure that we link everything up and it's all working. So those are the only hangups that are ever created. But again, we navigate them pretty quickly, and I do that, and then I go over people's reports as well with them, so they know what they're looking at.
Right. And Marge, so yes, our website is thefoodbookkeeper.com. Now, the funny thing about that is just this week, we're updating our website. We're going over to a new platform. And so, Brent, do you think that it was going to be down a few days this week, or we think we're okay?
The website?
Yeah.
It should stay up.
Okay. So Marge, if you see that it is www.thefoodbookkeeper.com. If you see that it's down, just come back in a day or two and it should be back up, because we're in the middle of upgrading it. But that is the website. Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and we will be back in touch. Have a great day.